The wind in Pine Ridge Estates always smelled like fresh-cut grass and passive-aggressive judgment. It was the kind of suburban paradise realtors sold with glossy brochures, white picket fences, identical beige houses, and a community pool that nobody actually used because the rules made swimming feel like a federal offense. I was Riley Thompson, 29, freshly licensed CPA, and I'd moved here 6 months ago thinking quiet streets and strict covenants meant safety. What I got was Barbara Whitaker, our HOA president, and her clipboard of doom. Barb didn't walk neighborhoods. She patrolled them like a prison warden who'd watched too many true crime shows. Every Saturday at precisely 9 a.m., she'd cruise in her golf cart wearing pastel cardigans and a smile sharp enough to slice drywall. "Morning, Riley dear," she'd coo, waving that clipboard like it was the 10 Commandments. "Just doing my civic duty. We all sacrifice for Pine Ridge, you know?" Her first visit came 2 weeks after I unpacked. I'd left my trash bin out an extra hour past pickup because I worked late running numbers for a client. Barb's voice cut through my open window like a circular saw. Rule 4.2 clearly states receptacles must be stored by 7 a.m. Sharp. Warning, but consider it a debt to the community. We've all given so much to keep standards high. She slapped a $75 fine notice on my door like it was a love letter. I paid it. Because new girl, new start, right? The second fine arrived for my lawn being 0.3 inches too tall. The third for parking my sensible sedan 2 inches over the invisible line painted in her mind. Each time she'd lean in with that honeyed tone. "You understand, dear. Some residents just don't appreciate what Ted and I have built here. We treat this place like our own child. You owe it to all of us to do better." Ted, her husband, would nod from the passenger seat, beer gut straining his polo, grinning like he'd invented grass. I kept my mouth shut. I paid every ridiculous fine because fighting the HOA in Pine Ridge was like arguing with gravity. Everyone else did the same. Next door paid for unauthorized flower color. Old Mister, his American flag being up 1 day past July 4th, even though it was still technically summer. Barb's monthly newsletter called it community investment. I called it extortion with a smile, but I watched. At the quarterly meetings in the clubhouse, she'd stand at the podium in her pearl necklace, voice dripping concern. "I've sacrificed my weekends, my evenings, even my marriage time to protect our property values. Some of you, well, I won't name names, seem to think rules don't apply. But we're all in this together. Science." The crowd would murmur agreement because nobody wanted to be next on the clipboard. My job saved me. Auditor for Horizon Property Management, the firm that quietly handled books for 20 HOAs across Kansas. My cubicle was beige, my spreadsheets were clean, and my nights were mine. Numbers didn't judge. Until the day my promotion dropped. "Riley, you're taking lead on the Pine Ridge portfolio," my boss said, sliding the access keys across his desk. "Full financial oversight. Every vendor, every assessment, every dime. You're our best." I nodded, heart steady. Inside, something clicked, like the deadbolt on a vault I'd been waiting to open. That Tuesday afternoon, I was deep in the vendor files when the name jumped out like a neon sign in a blackout. Whitaker Community Services. Address, 1428 Maple Lane, Barb and Ted's house. Contact, Theodore Whitaker. My mouse froze. $4, $200 a month for routine grounds maintenance. $3,800 for emergency pool filtration. $2,900 for seasonal gutter clearing. The Pine Ridge pool had been closed for repairs for 18 months. There were no gutters on half the houses. And the dates, every single invoice dated the 1st and 15th like clockwork, rain or shine, snow or 100-degree drought. I leaned back, the glow of the monitor painting my face blue. For the first time since moving in, I smiled. Not the polite new neighbor smile. The real one. Books were about to balance. The first week, I played the perfect auditor, cross-referencing, running diagnostics, keeping my face blank while my mind raced. By night, my apartment became command central. I printed every invoice, pinned them to the corkboard I'd bought at Walmart, connected them with red yarn like some conspiracy theorist's fever dream. Patterns screamed fraud. Invoices for snow removal in July, for debris cleanup, on dates satellite photos showed spotless streets, for industrial-strength fertilizer that somehow never arrived yet the grass stayed the same mediocre green. Then I hit the jackpot, months after I moved in. Line item, special new resident compliance assistance, Riley Thompson orientation and enforcement support, 40 hours at $85 per hour. My name. My supposed debt turned into their cash cow. I stared at the screen until my eyes burned. They hadn't just fined me, they'd monetized my humiliation. Every time Barb had smiled and said, "You owe the community," she'd been billing the HOA for the pleasure. My hands stopped shaking. I checked Kansas business records, no Whitaker Community Services registered, no local license, no tax ID, mailing address at Barb's front porch. I pulled the HOA bank statements, every payment routed to an account Ted controlled. Over 8 years, the total crept past $480,000. $500,000 siphoned from homeowners' dues while Barb preached sacrifice at every meeting. I could have called her right then. Instead, I did what I do best. I documented every fake charge, every missing work order, cash. The corkboard grew until it covered my living room wall. Red yarn crisscrossed like a spiderweb with Barb at the center, fat and smiling. The anonymous tip was easy. Fired off a perfectly dry email to Horizon's internal compliance line. Automated flag on vendor ID WCS 001. Statistically anomalous billing frequency exceeding portfolio averages by 470%. Recommend immediate field audit. Attached one redacted spreadsheet. Deleted everything. Light feeling lighter than I had in months. 2 days later, the audit assignment landed in my inbox. Riley Thompson, lead on Pine Ridge Priority Review. On-site verification required. My boss added a note. You know the neighborhood. Perfect fit. I stared at the screen and laughed once. Short, cold, perfect. The universe had handed me the clipboard. The field team arrived in Garnett County vans. I stayed in my cubicle, but the emails trickled in. Branch manager claims vendor is pillar of community. Ted Whitaker bragged last week his business was booming. I gripped my desk until my knuckles whitened. Pillar. On in 8 years was bragging about growth while homeowners paid for phantom services. Thursday morning the request hit. Urgent verify all WCS invoices against logs. Assigned to Riley Thompson ASAP. I answered in 30 seconds flat. Acknowledged. Handling immediately. Then I opened my encrypted drive and began building their coffin invoice by invoice. For every fake charge I attached proof. Weather reports showing 0 snow, maintenance logs showing 0 work, satellite images showing untouched lawns. I worked like a surgeon, precise, emotionless, lethal. When the final package was ready, I attached my mother's. Wait. No. Barb's own words from the HOA newsletter. We've all sacrificed so much for Pine Ridge. I hit send. The digital bomb was away. That night, I sat in the dark and waited. At 9:07 p.m., legal department had downloaded the file. The fuse had reached the powder board and traced one red string all the way to Barb's smiling photo I'd printed from the HOA website. Your move, Karen, I whispered. The call came 3 nights later, but when Barb's number lit up my screen, caller ID HOA president, my thumb still hovered. I answered on the 3rd ring. Riley, darling, it's Barbara. Ridiculous audit questions. Ted says some men were poking around the pool equipment that doesn't even exist anymore. This is your doing, isn't it? Her voice was still honey-sweet, but the edges had cracked. Kept mine flat.
Sounds good.
Barbara.
Talk to you later.
Horizon
Bye.
requested verification of Whitaker Community Services invoices. Silence. I've been waiting for my job? After everything we've done for this neighborhood? After I personally welcomed you? You owe Pine Ridge, Riley. You owe us for keeping property values up while you parked like a slob and grew your grass like a hippie. Ted and I built this place. I let her rant. Fine, every sacrifice. When she finally gasped for air, I spoke quietly. I'm not turning my back, Barbara. I'm just sending the invoice. She didn't understand the word. His roar filled my apartment. You think you can ruin us? We'll have you fined out of the neighborhood by morning. That sounds familiar, I said, almost conversational. You both said something very similar at the last meeting. But regret, Ted, is a debt that has to be paid by the person who owes it. And this time, it's you. I hung up. The silence afterward felt like the first clean breath in 6 months. 5 days later, the company-wide memo dropped. Fraudulent vendor activity confirmed at Pine Ridge. HOA damages exceed $480,000. Matter referred to authorities. Sterile corporate language for what was really happening. Barb and Ted's world was burning. I was in the office before dawn the next morning. The big network printer in the corner woke up with a mechanical sigh. It wasn't me. Spitting out every single fake invoice, every redacted proof, every lie they'd ever printed on HOA letterhead. Page after page slid into the tray while I stood watching like a ghost at my own funeral. When the stack reached ream thickness, I squared the edges, sealed them in an inter-office envelope, and dropped it in the legal department's secure box. No note. It. At 7:59 a.m., the email arrived. Vendor WCS 001 terminated. Payments frozen. I stared at my reflection in the dark monitor and whispered, "Now you owe me." The story exploded in Pine Ridge the way only small-town gossip can. Federal agents in the clubhouse parking lot. News vans on Maple Lane. HOA president and husband accused of $480,000 fraud. Comment sections went nuclear. At first, the loyalists defended her. Barbara would never. But when the dollar amount hit, the tide turned. Suddenly, everyone remembered the $200 fines for attitude violations. The Christmas light police, the way she'd smile while she bled them dry. I watched it all from my apartment. Anonymous donor bouquet of white lilies delivered to the clubhouse the Sunday she tried to cry her way out of it at the emergency meeting. The card read, "For all debts paid." The florist's gossip network made sure the whole neighborhood knew by noon. Barb tore the card to shreds on camera. Too late. The town hall Zoom was pure theater. I sat alone in the conference room in my charcoal blazer, face neutral while the grid filled with faces. When the chief legal officer said my name, Riley Thompson, your diligence saved this community millions. My box expanded and 1,000 eyes turned to me. On the split screen beside my calm professional mask was the live feed of Ted in handcuffs on the courthouse steps. Barb sobbing behind him in her Sunday best. Perfect symmetry. Arrested Karen on the right. The printer in the empty office growled again weeks later while I worked late. One final receipt. Job file WS 001. Status. Paid. I folded it, tucked it away, and walked out into the rain feeling something I hadn't felt since I moved in light. The reward check arrived quietly. $45,000 for whistleblower integrity. I stared at the number, ran a quick inflation calculation on the debt Barb had invented for me, and smiled at the cosmic bookkeeping. That same night, I donated every cent anonymously to a rural domestic violence shelter that helped women escape small-town control. The confirmation screen simply said, "Thank you." The account was closed. I never went back to a single HOA meeting. The neighborhood changed anyway, new board, new rules, actual transparency. Barb and Ted took plea deals. She got probation, he got time. The trailer, their McMansion, went to auction. The final newspaper blurb mentioned an old handwritten ledger found in a drawer listing every resident debt she tallied. At the bottom, someone had added in different ink, "Paid in full." I stood at my window that night looking at the city lights, rain washing the glass clean. The low hum of anxiety I'd carried for months was gone. The printer in the corner stayed silent for good. No more ghosts. Just Riley Thompson, accountant, living in a neighborhood that finally owed nobody anything. If someone ever asks how I found justice against the HOA Karen who tried to own me, I'll just look them in the eye and say, I balanced the books. Thank you for listening. From I read every comment. If the story hit you right, smash that like, subscribe, and help spread the HOA Karen takedown. More stories dropping soon.